Hello, hello, hello for another wonderfully beautiful and glorious day. Today I'm going to be talking about how a being like God could exist with evil existing as well, which is a very big question of debate, which people either go with, well, he has a plan, which is kind of like a cop-out, but I believe saying that there's nothing could also be a cop-out. Both sides see each other as copping out. They should really doctor out, or fireman out, instead of copping out. But all seriousness aside, I will look at different views or different explanations that could explain how a being who is all-knowing, all-powerful, and all good could let evil exist in the world. The first view, which I mentioned before, is that a being who is all-knowing and all-powerful could not physically enter into our universe, because if he had that much power, he would have to have an immense amount of energy and matter and gravity, which would mean that he would, in a sense, destroy the universe by existing inside of it. So he couldn't actively intervene. He would have to, in a sense, intervene through indirect means. That doesn't mean stuff like that's supernatural, because I'm not here to talk about if that exists or not. Only that if a being who is highly powerful does exist, he probably couldn't exist in our universe because he would destroy it. But of course, if he could exist, he would have to be limited. Thus, creating a sort of contradiction and paradox, because he would have to suppress his own power in order to exist here. I don't know if you ever seen Bleach at all. I used to, but then it got too long, too repetitive, and it just didn't seem to have an end in sight. And it's like, where's the resolution? Well, in Bleach is an episode, which I will say right now, spoilers, because I'm going to talk about one major spoiler, and that is, while Koan, who is a modified soul, gets most of the time trapped inside the body of a stuffed lion plushie, he occasionally gets to inhabit the body of the lead character, Ichigo Kurosaki. At one point, he is chased by this hollow evil spirit called the Grand Fisher, who was beaten last time by Ichigo, and now Grand Fisher wants revenge against Ichigo, but doesn't realize that Koan is not Ichigo. However, though, near the end, Isshin Kurosaki shows up and reveals that Isshin is Ichigo's father, and reveals that not only is he Ichigo's father, but he is also a soul reaper. You should watch the series to figure out how that all fits into place if you haven't seen it. Pleasure City wouldn't be wanting to watch this part of the video. Well, Isshin Kurosaki states that when he's fighting against the Grand Fisher, who has become an Iwanka, which is a hollow which has obtained soul reaper powers, that the only way for them to show off the power is by having it unrestrained, which what Grand Fisher did. However, though, that would mean that you would have swords the size of mountains that would be too unable to wield in battle. So captain level soul reapers, which technically use suppression of their own energy, creates the idea that, he pretty much states that in order to be able to exist in any world, specifically in the mortal realm, instead of the spirit world, they would have to suppress their own power in order to not have to carry around massive swords the size of mountains, but instead use a more logical based, well, not logical, but more weapon based upon speed and efficiency than rather raw power. Another, which would explain how any being with such immense power would be able to exist in our universe without destroying it, by suppressing their own abilities. Next up, there must be, I think I also talked about this before, and there must be an evil counterpart to him, one who is also all-knowing and all-powerful, but is all evil, and they balance each other out. It's the only way. It's the only way is that evil can exist in this world, is if evil always existed, as good has always existed. And lastly, the reason why a being who is all-knowing, all-powerful, and no good may not stop evil for is because that is not his job, or her job, or whatever. It could actually rely on the jobs of mortals to deal with mortal affairs, and not to rely on such beings, of higher beings, to do their work for them. And I just realized that it's nighttime now. And I hope that you have a wonderful night.